Deceased Unkillables Issue 2 sees Jim Gordon, Jason Todd, Cassandra, Cain, and the orphans survive 3 weeks in the Bludhaven Orphanage. But Jason knows they need to deal with the undead teachers and mentors still in the building gym. Jim doesn't want to deal with them since they are still people, but Cassandra alerts him to the radio, which is a broadcast message from Lois Lane, who says that anyone that is still listening needs to get to one of the 2 arcs that are leaving the Earth in hours, and they need to either get to Themyscira or Poison Ivy's jungle in Gotham. Jim shuts it off as Jason and Cassandra know that they could make it to Gotham, but Jim knows that while they could, the kids can't, so they need to stay and keep defended in the orphanage, and most importantly, not tell the kids that their heroes are leaving them behind. At Ball's Pyramid, Mirror Master reveals to Shiva that Cassandra Cain is alive, so leaving the island with Mirror Master, Shiva visits her daughter at the orphanage, telling her that she has somewhere safe for her to be. Cassandra wants the kids to come as well, but Shiva says that they don't have any room, therefore Cassandra is going to stay. Her mother tells her not to be foolish and stupid, but Cassandra is adamant that the kids come as well. Mirror Master appears, telling Shiva the place is surrounded by the undead and they need to leave now. Since her daughter won't come, Shiva fights her, stopped by Jason, who says that part of him wants to join in, but that would be not sensible. Shiva kicks him in the face as Jim and the others confront her. Shiva says that she offered Cassandra a place since she's family, but Cassandra says that Jim and the others are her family now, asking her mother to stay and join them, but Shiva disappears through the mirror with Mirror Master. Returning to the island, Shiva is confronted by an angry Vandal Savage, who says that if something were to go wrong and they lose Mirror Master, the island's contingency plan, then there is no escape for them. Vandal says that Mirror Master is not to be used for personal errands, as Slade tells him to stand down, since he really shouldn't piss off any of the volatile bored killers. Savage stands down, apologizing for his behavior and wanting to talk to Slade in private. Rose isn't so sure he should go with him, but Slade says it's okay, going with Vandal, telling Slade that he should have brought the killer in on what he's about to show him sooner. Going into a lab, Slade finds that Creeper is being cut open by Solomon Grundy, who grabs Slade and smashes his head in. Later, after healing, Slade awakens tied to a test bed next to Creeper. Slade weakly tells Savage that he needs him, and Vandal agrees, since he's immune to the virus, which is why he's going to pull apart Slade to find out why. Vandal is suddenly stabbed by Rose, who quickly frees her father as Vandal tries to tell Grundy to help him. Rose suddenly tells everyone that they need to run, but won't say anything else as the building is ripped into by the zombified Wonder Woman, who tears Vandal in half. Rose demands Mirror Master get them out of there as Grundy is thrown from the lab by Wonder Woman, who is soon set upon by the other villains. Captain Cold freezes her, telling Yellows that he will hold her off while they get out of there. Mirror Master opens up his last mirror, which delivers the villains back to the orphanage. Grundy scares one of the kids walking by, making him think it's a zombie, but Creeper tells him that he's their zombie and he's not a bad one. Mirror Master goes back for Cold and is almost immediately bitten by the infected Captain Cold. Cassandra meanwhile meets with her mother and the other villains, leading to a tense standoff between the 2 groups. Jason wants to know why Rose is there, but she will have to tell him the long story some other time, since they are still waiting on others to join them through the mirror. Slade, however, knows that no one is coming through that mirror, so moving to the building's kitchen, Rose explains that they were out at sea on a deserted island, and how Wonder Woman attacked them, meaning she's probably flying around the Earth dealing out the virus. Jason knows that that would explain the buildup of undead outside, and Slade knows that they could always encounter her here and other powered undead as well, so they need to be ready. Bane isn't too happy with their plan, but Rose knows the orphanage is as good a place as any, and they stand a better chance together. Jim isn't so sure about that, since Bane has killed lots of people, but the villain wonders what is Jim going to do about it? Arrest him? Slade learns that there are 43 kids in the building, and Deadshot knows that they are a liability, but Slade thinks that they would make a great army. Jim isn't having any of it, telling him and Bane that the children are not an army, but Slade says that they cannot be protected from this. He knows Jim lost someone, telling him that he lost his sons and there's no healing from it despite his healing factor. Slade knows the kids need to be prepared, and it isn't ideal and he's no leader, so Jim needs to step up and take charge or Bane will take over. Jim isn't so sure, but Slade says that he held one of the worst cities in the country together with the sheer force of will he has. Jim doesn't trust any of the people, but Slade wonders if Jim thought he was the only commissioner who didn't have any dirty cops in his town, since he definitely did, and lots of them work for Slade. Jim relents, taking charge and telling them that they are all welcome there, but not to abuse his hospitality or he will dump them outside the walls for the undead. He says tonight they will set everything up for them and tomorrow they will meet the kids and get to work training them to survive both the undead and each other. Rose raises a question about what's behind the bloody door, learning that they are the infected mentors, some of them who are children. Bane says that they aren't children and they are just a virus, but Jim won't let them kill the infected. Slade tells him to go look after the children as Cassandra leads him away. Grundy rips open the gym door and Jason is shocked since he sees that one of the children inside was Billy Batson. Jason knows that who Billy was doesn't matter now as the villains blow the infected people away. Over the next days, the children meet the villains and are trained by them in hand-to-hand combat, marksmanship, as well as less conventional teachings by Creeper and Bane, who the kids don't find threatening at all thanks to the mask muffling his voice. Over the next 3 months, the children and the villains grow closer, even causing some of the hardest villains to crack a little and show soft spots for the children. Jason and Rose go and visit one of Slade's classes, finding that he's pushing the children harder than he needs to. Jason tells him to stop, but Slade knew that he would say that since Batman was way too soft on the boy, and because of it, Jason got his head caved in by a clown with a crowbar. Rose defends Jason, making Slade think that they are both dating, telling them that they should be since they should find happiness where they can, since they are all going to die screaming anyway. Going out into the rain, Jason can't imagine the childhood Rose had, but she says that it was a lot worse than that. As they talk, Rose's powers alerts her to Jason planning on kissing her, which she lets him do. Elsewhere, the now maskless Bane hears something, thinking it to be an out-of-bed child. Soon Ace begins growling, so Bane tries to calm the dog, wondering what's wrong. Out of the mirror behind Bane comes the undead Mirror Master, who slashes Bane on the back, infecting him. The screams alert Jason and Rose, who run in and find children are being pulled through the mirrors by Mirror Master, who ends up also taking Deadshot, biting him and cutting his legs off in the mirror. As the group destroy the mirrors, Cassandra comes to Jim, telling him that Bane has turned, but instead of killing her, he ran right through her, smashing open the doors to the outside, and as Jim goes outside, he finds that Bane has ripped down the orphanage outer wall, letting in all of the undead. DCEASED Unkillables issue 2 was a really great second part of the series that offered a very small sliver of hope to the Bludhaven group before tearing it in two and throwing it to the Horde. I really enjoy how these events have led to unique alliances and teams forming, and it was great seeing these killers and villains having to kind of transform the way they act and operate to teach children how to survive, thus kind of making them a little softer than they usually are. I'm glad the book also didn't go down the trope path of Slade kind of being disapproving of Rose and Jason's relationship, and I actually like how he didn't really care since they will all be dead soon, so it really doesn't matter at all. I'm looking forward to the final issue of the mini and how it will most certainly tie into the upcoming Dead Planet later on this year. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10.